If you would like to know my top three products for helping your digestion get through the holiday season and more and beyond, you clicked on the right video. Hi, I'm Dr. Cori Stern, and welcome to my channel, Take Control of Your Health. I wanted to do a hopefully quick video on helping your digestion through periods of time where you might be overindulging or eating things that you don't normally eat. So I'm recording this video during what's known as the holiday season, at least in the US, between Thanksgiving and New Year's, but most of the world also celebrates um, holidays at this time. But no, this is not the only time that people overeat and eat things that are not really that good for them. There's always some kind of celebration happening, whether you're celebrating your birthday or somebody else's or an anniversary, or there's a lot of holidays throughout the year, or you're going on a vacation and all your rules go down the toilet. So as a natural health practitioner, I have to help people with this all the time because it's probably the number one obstacle to people fully healing and regaining their optimal health because they're always going down that road and eating things that are not really that good for them. So I just want to say up front that I am not in agreement with using holidays or other special occasions or vacations as a reason to throw caution to the wind and stop taking care of yourself. I think you can enjoy and celebrate and not eat bad stuff or overeat. That said, there are times when I find myself, let's say, eating at a restaurant. I'm not eating the food that I'm normally used to eating, or it tastes so good, I eat more than I know my body really needs. Things like that do happen. That's just part of life. You try to minimize it, but what do you do about it when it happens? What do you do if you have indigestion, heartburn, reflux? What if you have it chronically? If you have an underlying condition that you have these issues or other symptoms of digestive um, distress, like, for example, bloating. Every time you eat or drink anything, you're bloated, or things like constipation or loose stool, also known as irritable bowel syndrome. Some people have leaky gut. There's a lot of gut stuff that people experience. And it's probably the most common issue that I have to deal with in general. So I want to talk to you about some underlying like root causes. I'm just gonna surface information, nothing too deep, and then tell you about my top products for handling them. So the first one is heartburn slash indigestion slash reflux slash GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease. So this is basically when your food's not really going down, it's kind of stuck, or it comes back up, you get acid coming up. Some people get it into their mouth, that you throw up in your mouth. Some people just feel burning or discomfort or pressure in their chest. People even mistake it for a heart attack at times. Sometimes it's accompanied by gas pains. And a lot of people have inflammation in their esophagus. So I want to talk about that a little bit. The esophagus is a tube that goes from your throat all the way to your stomach. So it's the tube that the food goes down until it gets into the stomach. And the esophagus has to pass through an opening in a muscle that's right under your ribs on top of your stomach called the diaphragm. So that opening in many people stretches out over time. A lot of things can cause it to stretch out. Being overweight, overeating, pregnancy, anything that puts pressure on that area. So when the hole stretches out, it's called a hiatal hernia. And it makes it more likely that you will experience these symptoms of reflux, indigestion, burning, GERD. And one of the things that can actually happen is that your stomach can slide up through the hole to some degree, right? And then everything in the stomach contents are getting squished and it sends the food backwards up into it can go as high as like I said, your mouth. It can even cause irritation in your vocal cords and cause pain in your neck muscles. So I have that. I actually have a hiatal hernia. I'll tell you my quick um, story, my history about it. I was having a lot of symptoms of indigestion, reflux, pain in my 30s. Now, I had had a very large pregnancy in my 20s, and that might have been what led to this ultimately. But back in my 30s, when I was having these symptoms, I didn't know then what I know now. I wasn't fully trained yet. I wasn't practicing as a holistic practitioner yet. So I went to have an endoscopy, which is when they put a camera down your esophagus and look at your esophagus and your stomach. And basically, they told me I had a hiatal hernia and I had inflammation in my esophagus, which was not a surprise. And they wanted to put me on a medication that's known as a antacid or called a PPI, proton pump inhibitor. So those drugs stop your stomach from producing hydrochloric acid. And that's the conventional medical solution for this. But you actually need the hydrochloric acid to be able to digest your food. If you stop it from being produced, you're going to create nutritional deficiencies in your body. You're not going to absorb your nutrients properly. It is not a good solution, especially long term. These drugs, brand names, Prilosec, Nexium, some people are on something called omeprazole, pantoprazole. Those are the names of these drugs. So back then, even though I didn't know everything I know now, I was still not wanting to take a medication. So I opted out and I suffered for a while until I learned what I now know. And I went on this supplement. I'm going to screen share it. And this supplement has been a game changer for me. So this is called Gastrex. And Gastrex is amazing for heartburn, indigestion, reflux, GERD, and for stomach pain. So it's especially helpful for upper digestive symptoms. And I actually carry this around with me because I'm still subject to once in a while having an episode. Um, when you have this issue with a hiatal hernia or any kind of reflux or anything like that, you can't overeat. It just makes it worse. You can't lay down with food in your stomach, undigested food. You can't do any kind of strenuous physical activity because all of it will make it worse. So, it happens once in a while that I've either overeaten or ate something that irritated me, and then I was rushing and I had to walk fast, and then I end up with a symptom. So I carry this around with me. I have an open bottle on my night table. I have an open bottle in my office, and this contains all natural ingredients that just stop the indigestion. It just stops it. And for me, it works like almost instantaneously. This happened to me a couple of days ago. I was out and about, and all of a sudden, I started getting this terrible symptom where my esophagus actually will go into a spasm. It's very painful. The first time it ever happened, I thought I was having a heart attack. And I didn't have any water with me, but I had some Gastrex, and I just put one in my mouth and kind of chewed it. It's a capsule. It wasn't too disgusting. I mean, it doesn't taste good, but it wasn't that bad. And it immediately stopped the symptom. So this has things in it like okra slime, and it helps to heal the lining of your upper GI tract. It says here supports digestion and stimulates cleansing of the upper gastrointestinal tract. It supports the body's normal tissue repair process and supports the elimination of waste materials. It also has some vitamin B2, which is niacin. Um, so this is something that if you have a tendency to have these symptoms, I would absolutely recommend that you keep that handy. So that's number one. The next thing I want to talk about is when you eat and you just feel like the food is sitting there and it's not digesting. You just have this heavy feeling. You could have bloating, discomfort. Maybe you ate too much and it's just not going anywhere. You feel like it's stuck sitting in your stomach. A lot of people have trouble when they eat heavy protein, especially if it's animal protein. They just have a hard time digesting it. And basically, it's because most likely you're underproducing that acid that we mentioned earlier, the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. You need that acid to digest your animal protein. So it's not uncommon to not be producing enough of it, especially as you age. And that's a symptom. You just feel like you're not digesting. The food is just sitting there. So again, the conventional medical solution when you're complaining of symptoms like this is to put you on an acid inhibitor, which is the exact opposite of what's needed. If you stay on those drugs long enough, you're going to end up severely nutritionally imbalanced, which can lead to other problems and diseases, and especially can lead to dementia. Not an ideal solution. So, if you do have a symptom like that, I would recommend that you try this next supplement called Zypan. And Zypan are digestive enzymes that also contain hydrochloric acid. So, if you are not digesting easily, you may want to try this. This also has enzymes in it that help your pancreas. Your pancreas also produces enzymes. And what I will tell you about this is it smells weird. So don't like be upset when you open the bottle and you take a sniff. And also you don't want to let it sit in your mouth or chew it because it does contain some hydrochloric acid. So something I don't talk about very much is that I was a vegetarian for 27 years and my body was not doing well. And I was very symptomatic. And then when I learned what I now know, I decided to start rotating animal protein back into my daily diet. But at that point, I couldn't really digest it anymore. The very first time I ate it, I felt really nauseated and I actually think I vomited. So Zypan is what I needed, and I am now able to eat whatever, and I take it with every meal. The next thing I want to talk about is its overall digestive support, but especially better for your lower intestinal tract. So if you suspect that you have leaky gut, which means that the lining of your intestines is permeable, it's damaged, which allows molecules to pass through your intestines into your bloodstream, which is not good. That's not what's supposed to happen. Or at least it happens, but it has to happen at the right time. So when you have leaky gut, it happens at the wrong time. If you have symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome, also not known as IBS, so you have gas, you have lower intestinal bloating, you go back and forth between constipation and diarrhea, or even just you just don't have good bowel movements for whatever reason. You don't feel like you're emptying every day. For anything that makes you think you have some inflammation in your lower GI tract, you may want to try this. And this supplement is called Enzycore. And Enzycore is a bunch of enzymes plus something called L-glutamine. And L-glutamine is an amino acid that helps to repair the lining of your digestive tract. It helps reduce inflammation. This supplement contains enzymes that help the good bacteria, the good microbes to survive. So it improves the environment of your gut. It improves the pH. And all the enzymes that are in there are comprehensive. So it helps you with digesting fat, protein, and carbohydrates. So I will admit to you that I take all three of these products. I have a history of digestive issues. I was on antibiotics as a child very frequently. So I've never had a wonderfully functioning gut, but it's so much better now. And most of the time I'm fine. But I prefer to take these supports just to make sure everything's still working the way I want it to. Along with, of course, I take, some good probiotics and so on. If you specifically need some help with your gut beyond what I just explained, if you have more serious issues, or you want to know of these three, which one would be best for you and what else I might recommend, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can email me at questions@drcori.com. I can provide you with what we call a customized supplement recommendation program. It's a low-cost program where you fill out a bunch of information for me and I make some recommendations. I can also give you more personalized help with my natural health improvement program, which follows you over time and helps you to improve your diet. And I make specific supplement recommendations and I follow you to make sure that you're getting results. If you just have any general questions, email, comment on this video. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to see some more subscribers. I'm trying to meet some goals here. So please hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, if you found it helpful, hit the like button because it does help more people find it. And last and most importantly, please share this with anyone you know that's struggling with their digestion so that they can experience some improvement. Thank you so much for listening. And until we meet again, please stay healthy.